I have to ask this question. I mean, especially when it concerns if this, not to impinge on anyone's integrity, but you know, in recent times we've had to complain about, you know, underhand methods of tax collection, not just in Edo State, across board. Because when we raised that complaint, we had tons of mails coming in saying that they've also experienced the same thing. But unfortunately, Edo State seems to top the chart in terms of where people experience this the most at the local government level. And there's been silence from the Edo State government on this particular act. The sticker boys. Do you know about them?
Let me quickly also formally apologize to channels. You know, on the experience you went through, your crew went through when you were traveling through Edo State to Port Harcourt to cover an event, and the unwholesome activity of some purported, you know, tax agents, you know, accosted your men at Uromi area. Before your encounter, the Comrade Governor had invited all the chairmen of the local governments, and he had met with them and gave them stern warning that on no account should anybody called chairman of the local government employ or recruit people in the name of collecting tax or levies from people. In fact, we played that whole encounter on all the local television stations, and your correspondent in Benin also sent the story, and I saw it on air. Barely a week later, we were shocked when we heard about your incident. We had to replay that again. But what we now did as a step further was that people should apprehend such persons and hand them over to the police. That worked for us, because the following day, about 3 or 4 of them, we heard that they were beaten up and that they were handed over to the police. As we speak now, I can assure you that if you travel the length and breadth of Edo, you will not encounter those purportedly recruited by local government chairmen, you know, trying to collect tax. The taxes that we are collecting are based on the law, the taxes that are spelled down law. But people are fond of also circumventing the system. So before we came on stream, what you had in Edo State was a culture of people not paying taxes or even paying negotiated taxes, where they say you have to pay 15% of your, you know, income. So they will pay 7.5%, some will pay 6.5%, and just like that. So now that we are insisting on the actual percentage of taxes based on the law, and in most cases, we also obtain court judgments or court orders restraining or giving powers to the Board of Internal Revenue to so do. So the chairman or other persons who may want to circumvent the system were the ones who were doing that. And we were receiving the complaints so embarrassingly until we now said anybody found to be doing that should be apprehended and handed over to the police. And I'm sure by now you'll get reports that things have normalized in Edo State.
Okay, so do you also place these checks? Because if one person's name keeps popping up, you know, when they're talking about the Edo State government and tax collection, especially with the Internal Revenue Board, do you also tend to check whether or not citizens are being harassed, or is it just about revenue going up in the treasury?
No, the Board of Internal Revenue has its own machinery of checking some of these SSs. No doubt there are bound to be SSs or shortcomings or otherwise, but when it has to do with harassing people and all that, that is the lie that the common governor will want to hear.
Has the name of this individual ever popped up with you?
Oh.
The Mr. Kabaka.
Kabaka runs the Afegbua Ventures. He's an Edo person, so I know him. I can't deny not knowing him.
I'm just saying that his name popped up in terms of excesses.
No, not harassing.
So many tweets here asking questions about him, but well, you say he has his own venture, but you are not too sure.
They call him Afegbua Ventures.
Afegbua Ventures.
Yes, that's his ventures, which I know he runs.
Is that an agency or a venture that collects tax on behalf of the government?
I know that some of these accredited outfits that help the Board of Internal Revenue in the tax drive.
I think the state will do well.
Fall into one of
I think the state will do well by explaining to the people, maybe using the local media as well, because if your office tried to go through the tweets we have today, yes, you see that a lot of people from Edo State are asking questions. Look at Joyce also saying the Edo State government paid touts to execute their tax plan. Even in the government house, they use these boys until the government tries to explain to these people what exactly is the true state. People will keep on saying this.
In addition, there's this one too, which maybe you also subsequently let them know. He says, please ask him, why do they use government cars? That's a his and Makwale. Do they actually use government
cars to do what?
That's what he said. He says he sees them moving around in government cars.
No. Cars that are allocated to individuals will be on the basis of you being an employee or, enjoy one appointment or the other of the comrade governor. And all of these are controlled from the office of the Secretary to the State Government.
So how would you want this resolved before we leave here? We're talking about the assembly in Edo State, because the chaos witnessed in the assembly.
I think the issue has resolved itself, if you ask me.
You think so?
Yes. You know why? There is a court order restraining those members from forcefully breaking into the assembly premises or participating in whatever is being done, since there's a suspension order placed on them. In line with due process and rule of law, the Speaker went to court and the assembly to carry out that, and they were given that particular judgment. And so, yesterday, it was read at the floor of the House. Oh. And the suspended members said they have not been served. Well, they said they will definitely be served. And so when that is served, they will observe the suspension. Then business will resume as usual. And the security agencies are also playing a good role in trying to ensure that everything
I was just about to ask you that, in terms of, the non-partisanship of the police. Yeah. You also confirm?
I can confirm that to you, that the Commissioner of Police, has done a great deal of good. Yesterday, he was there physically present at the premises of the Assembly for more than 3-4 hours. All the members, all the 24 members were also present in the chambers, and they were trying to discuss and iron out issues in a more friendly and brotherly manner. And so, to that extent, until the afternoon when the court order was read to them, and they saw that this is law. And so perhaps that will also help them to also know the kind of action they will take. But I wanted to, make reference to Olu Martins trying to castigate the judiciary in terms of flippant issuance of orders. That's quite uncharitable, because these persons, when they approached court, they went and asked for 2 requests. 1, don't declare our seat vacant. 2, they should not suspend us. The court granted 1. So in compliance to also rule of law and due process, the Speaker also approached the court to say that these persons are disturbing the peace of the House on the basis of the fact that they've been suspended. And so please, listen to us. And when you are granting an ex parte order, you don't have to be in a regular court. The judge can sit in chambers in doing that. And even their own counsel was there, SAN Ferdinand Obi. He was also there to argue, and before the order was granted yesterday. And so it's not as if you just go through the back door and you went and obtain one document and say it's a court order. I think that's also...
It's not a black market injunction.
No, it's quite uncharitable.
Okay, but one wonders, if the comrade governor's got that cult following, why would anyone even have the guts to talk about impeaching him?
No, well, times are difficult. Times are difficult in Nigeria. Nigerian politics, whatever happened in your own state, will have one way or the other play out in what's happening at the national level. And 2015 is by the corner. Edo elections at the governorship level is going to be 2016, no doubt. But in 2015, you are going to have election to the State House of Assembly, into the House of Reps, and Senate. And so that also means that whoever controls all of these will also see, what is likely to happen in the presidential election.
Mr. Afegbua, I think that they're not letting off here. They want us to specifically let you know that Tony Kabaka's office is inside the Edo State Government House. That he is the chairman of Edo State Neighborhood Watch. And another one here says he resides or he rides in a government vehicle.
No. Let me also educate the mind of that person. My office does the announcement of all political appointees. The Neighborhood Watch has not been constituted. We disbanded it. It has not been constituted. We are just in the process of reconstituting because people were misusing it. The idea was for you to be your brother's keeper. Look around your neighborhood. If you see strange movements, strange individuals, report to this. And it's headed or was headed by General Moregi, a retired general.
Not Tony Kabaka.
No, that's an insult. Please don't drag us into this pettiness. You know, General Moregi is the head, and they have another retired assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner of police. You know, in their own structure. When the corporate governor saw that they were abusing it, not the way he wanted it, he decided to disband it, and now he's trying to reconstitute it. So it would be wrong for anybody to say that Tony Kabaka is the chairman. I think the person is not informed.
Okay, because they just keep going on and on. But we have to thank you for coming on.
It is good for them to ask questions because clarity makes things better for all of us. And informed society is one that will also help you to take the right decision. Because if you are not informed and you just go out, just like Tony Olu Martin was saying that there was an injunction stopping them from suspending and that they were suspended. Perhaps now he will understand that yes, fine, there was an injunction which says don't declare it vacant, but this other one, I don't have power because it's your internal workings. If you go against the rules of the house, and in this case they invoke Rule 38 of the house rules, and so if you go against the rules of the house, fine, you can do that. If it's by oral pronouncement, it is one day. But if it is by a motion of the assembly, then it can go indefinitely.
Okay.
You know, there have been precedents before. This is not the first time. And the reason why they did that was that in its own rules, they said you cannot sue the assembly. They cannot sue themselves. So these members took the case to court and they now said, go and withdraw your case. If you withdraw your case, you can't sue. It's on our rules.
All right, we'll have to wrap it up.
To withdraw, we'll sue you.
All right, Kasim Afegbua, Special Advisor Media and Public Affairs to the Edo State Governor. Thank you for coming on today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for sharing part of our own aspirations in Edo State. We want to commend you for doing a good job, at least for giving us the platform to come and make some clarifications on the issues.
Thank you.
And also to educate some minds.
And also to apologize. I think that's a major one for us.
Yes. No,
and don't forget to wish the Super Eagles well.
We have to do that because when things are done in a way that we don't like as a government, we have to say it. And the comrade governor does not enjoy people taking loss into their hands. You know. Okay. And of course, I wish the Super Eagles a semi-final slot.
Semi-final. All right. Yes. Even though it sounds good to the ears, but.
Why
not the finals?
We'll be back after this break. Join us again.